What if I told you that some fish start their lives by eating their own siblings? Not after they're born. Inside their mother's womb, whilst they're still developing. Sound absolutely mental? Well, welcome to the ocean, where survival doesn't wait for anyone, and your family might be your first meal. Let me take you through 3 incredible journeys of ocean predators, each more brutal and fascinating than the last. The shark that eats its siblings before birth. You're packed tight against 5 other baby sharks inside your mother's body. Each of you is already 6 inches long with razor-sharp teeth. Your brother next to you keeps bumping into you, testing whether you're weak enough to eat. This isn't sibling rivalry. This is a death match, and only half of you are getting out alive. Your biggest sister suddenly lunges at the smallest brother. The crunch echoes through your mother's body as she tears him apart. Blood fills the fluid around you. You watch in absolute horror as she devours him piece by piece, growing stronger whilst you grow weaker from sheer terror. You curl your tiny fins around yourself, trying to look bigger, stronger, more dangerous than you actually are. Then, whoosh, suddenly you're blasted out into the open ocean. The water is ice cold and filled with shadows. You spin around, gasping, looking for your mother, but she's already swimming away without even a backwards glance. No protection, no guidance. Just you, alone in the most dangerous ocean Earth has ever known. 3 of your siblings made it out alive. The other 2 are still digesting in your sister's stomach. And everything out here is trying to kill you. That's when you see it. 2 glowing eyes in the darkness below, watching you like twin moons of death. They don't blink. They don't move. They just stare. The creature attached to those eyes is completely hidden in the shadows, but you can sense its massive size. It's been there the whole time, studying you, deciding if you're worth the effort to kill. Your mouth falls open in terror, and that's when you discover something incredible about yourself. 2 completely different sets of teeth line your jaws. Razor-sharp daggers at the front, bone-crushing molars at the back. You've no idea what they're for, but right now they feel like your only hope. The eyes begin to rise from the depths. Whatever's down there is coming up to investigate you more closely. Panic floods through you as you realize you've got 2 choices. Hide like prey, or act like the predator you were born to be. A small fish darts past you, fleeing from the approaching nightmare below. Your stomach screams with hunger. You haven't eaten since, well, ever. But more importantly, you need to send a message to those watching eyes. I'm not helpless. You lunge at the fish, but terror makes you clumsy. You miss completely, spinning through the water like a broken toy. The glowing eyes seem to brighten with interest, or maybe amusement. You've just made yourself look like easy prey. The fish circles back, probably thinking you're harmless. Big mistake. This time you force yourself to be calm, patient. You wait until it's close enough to smell, then strike with surgical precision. Snap. Your dagger teeth punch through its scales, like needles through silk. Crunch. Your crusher teeth pulverize its spine in one devastating bite. Blood explodes into the water around you. And suddenly everything changes. The taste of blood fills your mouth and you understand. You're not just a survivor, you're a killer. 3 weeks pass miserably, but you've figured something out. You're basically a swimming Swiss Army knife. You spot a crab scuttling along the bottom. Perfect target. You dive down, but this time you're smarter. You wait. You watch. You learn its pattern. Strike. Your sharp teeth punch through its shell like paper. Your flat teeth crush the meat inside. The crab tries fighting back with its claws, but you twist your whole body, ripping off chunks of flesh. It's brutal. It's efficient. It's survival. But then you see something that makes your blood freeze. Another baby Hybodus, just like you, swimming straight toward your hunting ground. For a moment, the cannibalistic instincts kick in. You could attack. You could eat him. That's when you both spot the real threat. A marine reptile the size of a bus heading straight for you both. Its neck is longer than your entire body, lined with teeth that could swallow you whole. Suddenly eating your cousin doesn't seem quite so important. You both dart in the same direction, your dorsal spines scraping against each other as you squeeze through a gap in the rocks. The massive predator crashes into the stone behind you, its frustrated roars shaking the entire reef. You and your cousin look at each other, enemy or ally. In this ocean, the answer changes every second. 2 years pass as you keep fighting with your cousins and the other dangers of the ocean. Your body transforms into something magnificent and terrifying. You're now 4 feet of pure muscle and weaponry. Your dorsal spines have grown tall and sharp like medieval lances, casting intimidating shadows as you glide through the water. The head horns that were once tiny bumps now jet forward like a bull's, ready to ram and gore. Your dual-tooth system has become a precision killing machine. Dagger teeth gleaming like polished blades, crusher teeth built like stone hammers. Every scar on your hide tells a story of survival. Your movements are no longer the clumsy thrashing of a baby. You cut through water like a living torpedo. Silent and deadly. That's when you encounter the ruler of these waters. A massive Leetsichthyes, a bony fish the size of a blue whale. This giant filter feeder has claimed the richest feeding grounds as its own, and it doesn't appreciate competitors. The Leetsichthyes spots you hunting in its territory and charges. Its mouth opens wide enough to swallow a car, creating suction that pulls you towards certain death. But you're not the helpless baby you used to be. You dive under its massive belly and strike upward with your head horns. Thud, the impact sends shockwaves through both your bodies. The giant fish thrashes, trying to crush you with its weight, but you're too fast, too agile. You clamp your dagger teeth onto its fin and twist your entire body. Blood clouds the water as you tear away chunks of flesh. The Leetsichthyes screams, a sound like breaking thunder, and flees into deeper waters. Your territory is secure. You are no longer prey. 5 years old, and a female has noticed your victory. She's even larger than you, battle-scarred and dangerous. The mating dance begins, a careful choreography of violence and attraction. You circle each other warily, showing off your weapons whilst trying not to use them. Your dorsal spines brush against hers. Your head horns lock briefly in a test of strength. When you finally mate, it's a miracle neither of you ends up dead. But the encounter leaves you wounded. Deep gashes along your side from her defensive strikes. You're bleeding, weakened, but victorious. Still injured from mating, you spot the opportunity of a lifetime. A massive school of belemnites, more than you've ever seen. Your wounded body screams for nutrition to heal. You dive into the feast, your dual teeth working like a machine. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Shell after shell disappears down your throat. But your injuries have affected your judgment. You can't tell when to stop. Your stomach stretches beyond its limits, packed with so many shells you can barely move. The very adaptability that made your species successful becomes your downfall. You literally can't stop eating. As you sink toward the ocean floor, paralyzed by your own gluttony, you realize the irony. You survived everything these prehistoric seas could throw at you, only to be killed by your greatest strength. The sailfish, learning to fly through water. Pop, pop, pop. You burst out of your transparent egg near the warm ocean surface, one by one with thousands of your siblings. You still figuring out what just happened when you notice a small jellyfish moving through the water like an underwater hoover. It's sweeping through your newborn siblings, sucking them up one by one. The thing is treating your family like an all-you-can-eat buffet. It heads straight for you, its mouth opening wider. Without thinking, you instantly dive. Not deep, just a few centimeters under the surface. The creature sweeps past exactly where you were floating a second ago and continues left, still munching on your siblings. When you surface again, you realize almost all your siblings have been eaten. Those few who are left float above on the surface, enjoying their brief moment of survival. You're smaller than a grain of rice, completely transparent, and look more like a floating blob of jelly than the fastest fish on Earth you might become someday. Your body is basically a see-through bubble with a yolk sac attached. No fins, no bill, nothing that remotely resembles a fish. Your yolk sac is your only food source right now, and it'll last for about 2 days. On the 3rd day, your yolk sac is completely gone. You need food. You drift your body like a wobbly blob on the surface and dip down a centimeter in the water. You notice a few copepods drifting nearby. You try to grab one with your barely formed mouth, but it slips away. You try a few more times and finally catch one, but it barely counts as food. It's so small. The entire day you manage to catch dozens of tiny plankton, but the amount of effort you remaking is nowhere near enough for what your body needs to grow. You're still smaller than 1 centimeter, so life is still rubbish, to be honest. Almost a month passes like this. Now you've grown to about 15 to 25 millimeters and have officially passed your small birth stage. You look more like a fish now. Your mouth structure has become more advanced, and you can actually eat small fish larvae and shrimp-like creatures. Most importantly, you've developed fins and a tail that can actually propel you through the water. So you've started diving underwater instead of just floating helplessly on the surface. It's time for your first real hunt. You spot a school of tiny fish larvae about half your size. Perfect first targets. You position yourself below them, watching their movements. Unlike the mindless drifting of plankton, these things actually swim with purpose, making quick turns and sudden stops. Your newly developed fins propel you upward as you open your mouth and miss completely. The entire school scatters in different directions whilst you chomp at empty water. Embarrassing, but you're determined. You find another small fish isolated from its group. This time you approach more carefully, using your developing bill to aim. You lunge forward with all the grace of a drunk sea cucumber and actually manage to catch it. The fish thrashes in your mouth, its scales rough against your soft throat, but you gulp it down. Your first real prey. It tastes so much better than boring plankton, but it also takes 10 times more energy to catch. Just as you're feeling proud of your hunting achievement, a massive shadow passes overhead. You look up to see something that makes your blood freeze. A bottlenose dolphin, at least 20 times your size, with intelligent eyes and a mouth full of sharp teeth. It spotted you. Without warning, the dolphin dives straight down towards you with terrifying speed. You've never experienced anything like this before. Pure, intelligent predation aimed directly at you. You twist your body frantically, your small fins working overtime as the dolphin's jaws snap shut inches from your tail. This isn't like avoiding a mindless jellyfish. This thing is actively hunting you, calculating your movements, predicting where you'll go next. You dart left. The dolphin follows. You dive deeper. It follows. You surface rapidly, and it's still right behind you, clicking and whistling as if it's enjoying the chase. For the first time in your short life, you understand what real death looks like. In desperation, you attempt something you've never tried before: real speed. You pump your tail as fast as possible, trying to access that legendary sailfish velocity you're supposed to inherit. But your body isn't ready. Instead of graceful acceleration, you spin out of control, tumbling through the water like a broken torpedo. The dolphin, apparently amused by your pathetic escape attempt, loses interest and swims away to bully another small fish. Yeah, the dolphin was just playing with you. Otherwise, you'd be dead already. Over the next few weeks, you become obsessed with speed. You see an adult sailfish in the distance, moving like an underwater bullet, and think, I can totally do that. You position yourself like you've seen the adults do. Build up momentum, angle your body perfectly, and wham! You crash headfirst into a coral formation so hard that small fish scatter in all directions. Okay, that was just practice. You tell yourself. You try again, this time aiming for open water. You pump your tail with everything you've got, and for a moment, you actually feel fast. Then your elongated body starts wobbling like a broken torpedo. You spin out of control, tumbling through the water until you slam into a rock wall. A hermit crab pokes its head out and gives you the most judgmental look you've ever received. Frustrated, you call it quits for today. One day, whilst desperately hunting near a coral reef, you witness something amazing. An adult tuna, sleek and powerful, approaches a school of small fish. Instead of chasing them chaotically, like you do, it does something different. It slashes through the school with its tail, stunning several fish, then loops back to collect the disoriented prey. It's elegant, efficient, and devastatingly effective. You decide to try this slash-and-grab technique yourself. You find a small school of fish and approach with what you think is expert precision. You swing your developing bill sideways through the school, hoping to stun them like the tuna did. Instead, you completely miss the school, overbalance from your own momentum, and crash face-first into a sea anemone. The stinging tentacles leave painful welts across your face whilst the fish you were hunting swim away, probably laughing. You try again with another school. This time they scatter anyway, startled by your clumsy approach, but none are stunned or injured enough for easy capture. A few months pass, and you've officially entered your subadult stage. This time when you slash through the school with your now solid bill, the technique is devastatingly effective. Fish scatter in all directions, several stunned and disoriented from the impact. You loop back with precision, collecting not one but 4 fish in a single hunt. This stage of your life is all about hunting these small fish and eating as much as you can to grow to your full size and ability. 2 years from now, you're a magnificent 3-meter torpedo. The fastest fish on Earth, capable of hitting 68 miles per hour when you need to. Your bill has become a razor-sharp weapon. Your dorsal sail can extend to intimidate prey and predators alike. And you've mastered the art of hunting with deadly precision. Today feels like the perfect day to demonstrate just how far you've come. You spot a massive school of sardines ahead. Thousands of them moving in tight formation, completely unaware of the death missile approaching from below. This is what you were born for. You position yourself beneath the school, your sail folding flat against your back for maximum speed. With one explosive burst, you rocket upward, building to your maximum velocity in seconds. The water screams past your streamlined body as you slash through the school with surgical precision. Your bill cuts through the formation like a sword, stunning dozens of fish with the shockwave alone. You loop back through the chaos, your mouth opening and closing like a machine gun, collecting the disoriented sardines. In less than 30 seconds, you've consumed more food than your juvenile self could catch in a week. This is the payoff for all those months of failed attempts and embarrassing crashes. You're finally the apex predator you were destined to become. But being the fastest fish in the ocean comes with its own set of problems. As you cruise through the open water, your incredible speed demands massive amounts of oxygen. Your gills work overtime, extracting every molecule they can from the rushing water. You can't stop swimming, not even for a moment, or you'll suffocate. It's like being stuck in permanent overdrive with no option to slow down. Your streamlined body, built for pure velocity, is also incredibly fragile. Your flesh is soft, your bones hollow for reduced weight. You're basically an organic missile that can be destroyed by the slightest damage. Even a small cut or injury could slow you down enough to mean certain death, either from inability to catch prey or becoming prey yourself. But speed comes at a price, and the ocean always collects its debt eventually. 3 lives. 3 different strategies. One brutal truth: the ocean doesn't care about fair play. Whether you're born eating your siblings, learning to swim through embarrassing failures, or transforming into the fastest predator on Earth, survival is never guaranteed. These creatures show us that evolution isn't about perfection. It's about finding what works just well enough to pass your genes forward. Sometimes that means being born with weapons. Sometimes it means learning through painful trial and error. And sometimes it means accepting that your greatest strength might also be your greatest weakness. If this journey through the most brutal childhoods in the ocean fascinated you, smash that like button. And if you want more stories about the incredible, terrifying, and downright mental creatures that call our oceans home, hit subscribe. Because we've barely scratched the surface of what's lurking down there. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, in the ocean, there's no such thing as a fair fight. There's only survivors and lunch.